welcome back to my channel for another episode of my month-long series of Squishy Makeovers where I'm going to be trying to make two full sets of rainbow squishies, a darker set and a more pastel set. And for today's video, I'm focusing on the three darker rainbow cool colors, so green, blue, and purple. And these are the three squishies that I'm doing. It's like a narwhal, a penguin, and another fox squishy. And of course I started this like I did with all of the other squishies, with sanding them and trimming up the edges as best as I could. I definitely couldn't get it perfectly, but I always do try my best. And if I'm remembering correctly, I actually had to do the sanding process twice, because the first sandpaper, actually I think the one you saw here in the video, wasn't really working. It wasn't really roughing up the surface of the squishies like it was supposed to, so I had to ask my dad for a new one, and so I had to redo the sanding process. But eventually I did get it to work. Although that wasn't the first of my issues with these squishies. Most of my issues actually came in when it came to the painting. I finally got white paint, so with my fabric paint I painted on a nice base coat of white over all the squishies. And I started on with a narwhal squishy, which is going to be for the color green, and this really nice dark green color. I believe this one was actually really quick to do. The dark green covered the squishy really well, especially with the white base coat. The blue was pretty transparent, honestly, and it took a good amount of coats before I could get a nice even coverage over everything. And then the purple you see here, as you can see, it's super transparent. I actually had to add some white to it and some other colors just to get it to have decent coverage. But here you can see where the dark green is fully done on the narwhal squishy, and I'm starting in with the details and following with my original idea and keeping each of these squishies monochromatic so they look better as a set all together. I'm going in with the lighter pastel green for the details on this narwhal squishy. And for that, it's mainly just the underside. It's the narwhal's belly and the horn on its head. Honestly, I wasn't too excited about this design. I felt like it wasn't, especially on the horn, it just didn't look the best. But I do think the monochromatic look for each of the squishies is the best way to go, since they are a set. Moving on to the blue penguin, I used the same pastel blue onto the beak and feet of this penguin, which again wasn't really what I would have originally done if this wasn't a part of a set and I wasn't trying to keep it monochromatic. I originally wanted to use this blue for the belly of the penguin, and then do a more normal natural color for the feet and the beak, but keeping things monochromatic, I only used the pastel versions of each of the colors. And so it was the same with the fox, which honestly I didn't intend for it to be this way, but this fox actually had a pretty similar base coloring to the fox I did last time. I did pretty much the same face markings, ears, tail, and chest markings, although the shape is slightly different in the chest area. And then once I got about 2 or 3 coats for each of these details, they were done, and I went ahead and put on my initials on each of the squishies, even though they weren't done yet. I just wanted to do them in the same lighter color because I felt like that looked better than doing it in black. And I am trying to keep in mind how they all look individually but also as a set. And so with my black and white fabric paint, I did the eyes and the face. And I did them off camera because I was so up close to the squishies that my head just blocked out the camera completely. So I don't really have footage of it because you wouldn't really be able to see anything besides my head over the squishies. But here you can see with like all the black details of the eyes, and then finally with the whites of the eyes, the narwhal has this really cute, like silly expression that I really liked. I actually think he might have my favorite of the faces for this video. I just think it's so simple and silly and I love it. Then the penguin, I actually ended up giving eyebrows and gave him this kind of like mad expression. It's a little scary, but I'm kind of obsessed with it. I really like how his face turned out as well. He looks very serious. And then for the fox squishy, I tried going for like a confused or like questioning expression. I don't know how well it reads, but it did differentiate him a bit from the other fox that I did in last week's video. And here you can see the first full rainbow sets of like the darker, more bright rainbow. I'm honestly in love with how they all look, especially lined up together like this as a set. But I still have 2 more videos where I'm going to be doing the pastel rainbow sets and the matching duos to each of these. But thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you all enjoyed. Bye!